Board games, board games, it's what I'm talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing. And over here, I am in my garden, and you know what will happen then. I will talk. I'll probably not walk, although I might walk around if you really want. Board games and stuff in life, it's what I'm talking about. Board games and good memories. I'm not gonna shout. Hello and good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are, and it is 10 a.m. ish. I am actually starting this 2 minutes late, but hey ho, let's try and ignore that. Hopefully, no one popped in and then thought, oh, I wonder if Bez is even streaming today. But this is the nature of a live show, and this is the nature of, back when I started, true story, I used to be like, okay, it has to start at 10 a.m. no matter what, and it has to finish at 10:55, maybe 11, like if things are going really well, but to have to finish it up, it has to be like a TV show, and people will tune in for it for a morning thing, and it'll become part of. Yeah, of course, that's not going to happen. I think that the days of people, racing to come around the television like the opening credits of The Simpsons, that's, not something that actually happens. But I do want to say thank you very much, Dusty, for being here. It is a delight to have you. And of course, as I was about to say, today, as always, is Betty Beats and Board Game Bladder, which I do every day at 10 a.m. ish. Let's say ish. Because let's be honest, there's no like to the second. Sometimes I start like 20 seconds early. Sometimes, like today, I might start as much as 2 minutes late. And there you go. And today, of course, it's his Friendly Friday Forum. Now, what happens during Friendly Friday Forum? During Friendly Friday Forums, everyone is welcome to join me. So if you want to join me, Dusty, like on camera, just because maybe you feel like it's easier to chat if you're on video, maybe that's a medium that you're more comfortable with, then just let me know and I will send you the link. And hello, Alex. It is lovely to see you. And hello, Odilani. Thank you for popping in. Now, as always on the Friday, I am sharing the Wii link. And so please, if you want to join me, pop that into your browser, click the link, give yourself a name, add your pronouns. I think it's about time for me to do my little weekly poem. So let me read it out. There might be maybe I'll just talk, some chatting along, maybe we'll sing, performing a new song. As always on a Friday, it's also about you. I really am quite interested in all the things you do. How are you? I hope you're well. If not, you can share and tell. But remember, it's up to you, so only share if you want to. How was your week? Any highlights, lessons learned, gaming delights? What are you looking forward to? What are the things you're trying to do? We might get into a deep discussion, but we'll dip out again for some silly action. And if you're cool, you can join me on camera, even if briefly. Jump in, jump out, but please don't shout. And mute yourself if making noise when you're not chatting. Respectful questions and comments are a go. Feel free to be you for the entire show. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what it's all about. And I hope that sort of explains a wee bit. Sorry. And This is a really good question. I will definitely get to this. Thank you for the question. Stream Elements reminds me to occasionally do a wee stretch. So I am going to rebel slightly, and I am stretching back and front. And if you're at work, then feel free to do your own wee stretch and maybe even get up out of your chair periodically for a wee bit of a wander. Or just get up and sit down. Now, let's see. Let's start off, and feel free to type in any of your recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights, recent highlights. So, what are some of your recent highlights? For me, it was a beautiful day yesterday. That was definitely a recent highlight. I went to the park in the morning, had a good walk, had a nice walk this morning as well. My pre-show walks have been going down a wee bit. I had, I think, 2 or 3 days since I came back here when I didn't walk at all, and was like, oh, I've got to do this thing. But yesterday, yes, I didn't sleep so well, but yesterday I just got up. I had a lovely walk around the park. I saw the machine cutting up the grass, and then I went out again in the afternoon. I saw at least 3 squirrels scampering around. That was a delight. And yeah, what else? So yeah, Potion Explosion. I played it on Steam. I am not very impressed, to be honest. I think I'm just spoilt by how good Roots is. But yeah, Potion Explosion of Steam, I've uninstalled it and gotten rid of it. I'm not. Yeah, the tutorial just stopped giving you messages. It didn't do that thing of saying, hey, we think you've learned enough, now do everything on your own. It just stopped giving me messages. It was as if I was being demonstrated to it, like by an overbearing person at a convention, and then suddenly they were distracted by something else. I was like, wait, okay, I guess, have you left? Okay, I guess you've left. Because, yeah, it was just, yeah, and it didn't teach me, I didn't feel equipped to play the game afterwards. Honestly, and if I wanted to check the rules mid-game, there was literally no option to check the rules mid-game. I had to find the rules in another browser window, so that, yeah, I wasn't. But this is meant to be highlights. It is sunny, and I am going to be seeing some cats soon. So that is it. Dusty says it's raining today, which I know a lot of people enjoy. It's really good coffee. Colleague decided to join me in my home office. Nice to see physical human beings again. That sounds just wonderful. And yeah, achievements. Oh yes, I almost forgot. I did. Who was I chatting to yesterday? Thursday. Oh yes, had a lovely chat with Tanya from Edinburgh. Got really motivated to feel like, yeah, you know what? I should do some zines. Maybe one day, but there's like so much to do, so little time. But yeah, I want to do some zines. I probably want to stream a wee bit less, going forwards into next month. I have been planning my 400th episode. My most ambitious guest that, yeah, probably won't be joining, but I do have one guest who I'm excited about who might be joining. And of course, I'm excited, hoping that Alex will be able to do some story time at a time that will, be UK friendly. And hello, Joanne. It is lovely to see you. We're just talking about recent highlights. I had a Skype call with a whole bunch of librarians. I think there were 16 people all talking about games and libraries and how to get games into libraries. It was just really interesting being part of that conversation. And so that was definitely a highlight until the technology kind of. But yeah, if you have any recent highlights, feel free to share. Otherwise, let's go on to the questionably quick questions. Questionably quick questions. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, I'm just kind of copyrights infringements of ludological lightning grounds. Questionably quick questions. Pew, 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 pew. True story. One of my life goals is to go onto the podcast Ludology and make the best lightning noises ever. I want to be known as the person who made the best lightning noises on Ludology. I want to talk very seriously to whoever is doing the podcast, because Gil said that would probably be an alright guest even now, but I felt like I should probably learn a wee bit more about word games, and then I can do a show about word games. But yeah, I want to get all three of us. This is my life's ambition, to get myself and the two co-hosts of that podcast to just be making lightning noises for a full minute. Anyway, so Joanne says, I was a librarian and a children's storyteller. That sounds fantastic. How come you finished up? How come you're not? And Dusty says, if you ever have had an old Sound Blaster sounds card, it's installed this thunder sound. That was amazing. Yeah, but that's not the same as having like lightning noises coming out of your mouth. I'm not saying that my noises are as good as what you could get via thingamajiggy, but there's something nice about that old school nature. Yeah. Exactly. So we already had one questionably quick question, and it's very questionably quick, by which I mean it's not going to be quick at all. I want to know how board game creators come up with new ideas. The more original, the better. Okay, so this is asking where people get their inspiration, so it's not the first time I've asked about this, but let me take a drink of water first. Okay. Oh, and Joanne says, they had me part-time, and when the job went full-time, it went to someone else. That makes sense. And Alex says, better than lightning noises coming out of your computer if you don't have a sound card. Yeah, random lightning noises coming out of your computer, that wouldn't be good. Anyway, so, yeah, let me actually... so, get River Dusty back on screen. There's a whole bunch of ways to start. You can have name first, you can have theme first. I'm doing inverted commas about theme because there's a whole question of what is a theme. You can have mechanics first, you can have experience first, you can have components first, you can have anything. Like anything can be a linchpin to get you started. The issue isn't where you start. Honestly, I don't think that, like, you can have hook first, right? Now, I think it's just a case of wandering around and seeing everything that's in your life. And hello, Elaine. It is lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us. I am doing Friendly Friday Forum, which means that if you want to join me on camera, you are absolutely welcome to. Otherwise, I have just been asked a very questionably quick question, whereas by River Dusty, who wants to know about new ideas. So, let's look at Abandon All Artichokes by Emma Larkins, where Emma Larkins basically thought of, okay, I'm going to come up with some potential names for games. I'm going to come up with some alliterations. Abandon all artichokes. Break bad beds. Create crumbly chaos. And just, I don't think Emma Larkins was doing it in an ABC manner, but whatever you do, I think fundamentally this is getting into the hearts of what is creativity. How can we generate new ideas? And for generating new ideas, we need to give ourselves some sorts of hoops to jump through. Because like that way, Emma Larkins might not have ever come up with Abandon All Artichokes, which, although I've not played it myself, I hear it's a pretty good game. But Emma Larkins, by saying, okay, I am going to do alliterations, I'm going to just keep coming out with names, and then made this big long list. People said, hey, Abandon All Artichokes, that sounds like a good name. And then from that, Tim Larkins was, okay, abandon all artichokes. What does that mean? Maybe it's like you start off with a whole bunch of artichokes, and when you don't have artichokes, you win. And a similar thing for, I wish I had Bez when trying to think of a name for my band. Oh, lots of love. Like, I can promise lots of ideas, but I can't promise that any of them would be good. And so, let me get rid of that main banner, actually. So, let's talk a wee bit more about name first. So, couple. Couple for my own L deck, which I don't have with me. It's in the house. Couple was me starting off with the L deck. I'd made this deck of cards, and I had a whole bunch of games that would play, and then David, oh, why am I forgetting their name? Dave Weatherall. Dave Weatherall suggested, hey, how about having Wordle, Phrasal, and Fable, because the games that I had were about words, phrases, and stories. And Dave was like, oh, you could have Fable, Phrasal, and Wordle. And Wordle isn't really a word. And so I was going round, and it was actually Dan Barker who suggested Wibble, which is a great name. And then I was thinking, okay, maybe this is just the way it is with all the names for this deck. Everything ends in ELL. Having that little constraint, that little thing to jump through, means that I'm now thinking, okay, what are some other names that I could do? I could certainly do Unfinishable, which that's actually the name of Paul's game. In that instance, Paul didn't even suggest that name, but it's clearly Unfinishable. It was originally called like Ghostal, which is just a nod to the fact that it was based on the public domain name Ghost. And hello, Yoda. We're just talking about starting with ideas, and then I'll properly catch up with all the chats. But talking about names, with Couple, it was like, okay, what names could end in L? And I had already decided that all these things are going to be misspelled. I had a poll on my Facebook, which is better? Is it IL or EL or ELL or ILL ending? And it was purely based on that. Some people mentioned that IL sounds a bit like a pharmaceutical drug, whereas ELL sounds a bit more playful. And it's then I was thinking, okay, Couple, what kind of game could that be? Maybe it's a game to be played literally when you're spooning. And that was the original design of Couple. Originally, one person could see their hand and the other person's hand. I hadn't actually tried it, but I thought, like, if the big spoon kind of has like, let's imagine this is a person, right? And I'm kind of holding my hand of cards here, and then this person is holding their hands of cards here. And so Big Spoon can see both hands of cards, Little Spoon can only see their hand of cards, and that was where I started. I tried it around, and I was like, oh, this doesn't quite work. And I was like, yeah, let's give up on that idea. Let's say that both people can pass back and forth. But then it was still all about this couple, and it was still all about, okay, I'm giving and I'm not allowed to take cards because it's meant to be about a relationship. And so, like, kind of simulating what I think should be a good relationship, where you're kind of paying attention to the other person and making sure that they are able to make words, but ultimately you are making your own words. And that's how that game came about. And so, yes, you can absolutely go for a name. And ultimately, I think it's about being open to ideas. When you're a game designer, at a certain point, everything in the world will be filtered through this lens of, could this be a game? True story, I had a dream last night. It wasn't a grandiose, I have a dream type thing. It was more of I had a dream where we were skulking around this town, and within the buildings, these buildings had to... And Alex, no, I haven't ever had a game called Unpronounceable. I haven't had anything like that. You might want to make that for the 2021 LDEC Design Contest. Speaking of which, I need to get the L, but yep, if anyone doesn't know about the Design Contest and the Arts Contest, please check them out at the bottom. But yeah, what was I talking about? but oh yeah, my point is, as a game designer, you're open to new ideas for games because everything starts being seen through this filter of could that be a game? Last night, my dream, when you went into a building, everything had to be painted black, everything had to be covered with, thick blankets because there were evil spirits. But evil spirits um created were only active when they saw light. And so the weakest evil spirits had to have lots of light. So as long as you kind of covered it and then you could see, so it was like not too bad. So you could kind of look around. But then if you shone a torch anywhere that the light was, they would suddenly slowly be active. But then there was this place where it was like, oh, I can't actually see, and you need to have like night vision goggles, but even so, you can still barely see. And when I went in, even from the tiniest bit of light from the insulation chamber, and then I went in, and then the ghost started coming, this evil spirit, and then it kind of froze as the light went away. So it's only active when the light was passing through it. But could that be a game? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It's like anything could be a game. But I've got enough, potential games that after pondering it during my morning walk, I decided, hey, I'm just going to discard that. But this is the thing, like other people might be thinking of that and saying, could that be a song? Actually, that might be an interesting song or a bit of poetry or just a bit of storytelling. And thanks, Joanne. I'm glad that you enjoyed hearing about it. But yeah, when you're a game designer, you start thinking, could this be a game? Could the growth of the grass on my lawn be a game? Could, the structural uncertainty of this building that is beside me, this building is literally going to collapse, and the landlord has been made aware of, the agency has been made aware of it. This shed is literally a safety hazard, and someday it is going to collapse into the garden, and that's not great. But anyway, could that be made into a game? Like, could horticulture and like everything that I see through in my head? Honestly, it's been something that I've kind of been doing since I was really small, because my first memory is of a ZX Spectrum loading screen. And yes, board games, video games, simulations, role-playing games, all sorts of games are by essence simplifications. So you don't get the whole sense of life, but you do get a simpler version of life. And you can sorry, I assume you mean hammer, Joanne. But I was expecting, it's an expression we have. If you have a ham, everything looks like a nail. I've heard if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I assume that's a typo, but I love kind of subverting that. And, I don't know, was that a typo? Was it not? But now that sparks creativity. That sparks, what if you had a ham? What would things look like? Okay, if you had a ham, what would things look like? If you have a ham, maybe everything looks like a piece of lettuce? I don't know. If you have a ham, maybe things look like a piece of bread. Maybe if you have a ham, everything looks like... I mean, is it that you're smacking this ham and then you're trying to get nails into it? Maybe you're playing a game and you're trying to get nails into your ham. What's that all about? And, but yeah, I think that is one thing. I think that the first thing is being open to this. When you see things in real life, trying to put them through a certain lens. When you see like a small typo, I could dismiss this and I could stop thinking about it and I could put it out of my head. But if I had done that, would it have been as much fun? I mean, yes, it took a little bit of energy to think about these things, but like, what else could we say? Okay, if you have a bird, everything looks like birdseed. If you have a lawn, everything looks like a flower. If you have a if you have a bum, everything looks like a chair. And so yeah, that's it. Kind of trying to use those opportunities and not just discard them, but actually being willing to go through and sort of follow that line of questioning. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm glad that you're getting some. Thank you very much, Elaine. And There's a hilarious site called Kiss This Guy, all about misheard lyrics. And I think sometimes thinking about like trying to pursue certain thoughts, sometimes that's the second thing. So, like, firstly, you need that openness, you need that willingness to put in the energy. Secondly, you do need some restrictions because, frankly, let's say I'm a first time ever game designer. Um, let's say I've never made a game before. Then I think, okay, I want to make a game. What can my game be like? Okay, maybe I'm rolling dice and I'm moving things along a track. And maybe as a game designer, I'm very excited because I've never made a game before. And that's totally, worthwhile. That I don't think this should necessarily be a published game. I don't think that's rolling the dice and going out. Not everything has to be published, but just making games and making games for yourself, the same way that we don't make up songs and think, oh my gosh, this has to be pressed into a CD and turned into something mass produced. I think that by the same token, I did a talk at UK Games Expo. I was very proud of it at Virtual Expo, and they apparently lost the recording, which I was a bit sad about. But I called the game design is for everyone. It was slightly different to Game Design 101, which I'd done a few times before. It was specifically about how game design is a useful thing, because in the same way that writing is good for everyone, everyone should have a go at singing a song. And if you decide it's not for you, fair enough. But game designing, it helps you do all sorts of things. And there's benefits in going through that process, even if you're like, I'm not going to mass produce it. And that's the critical thing. I would like more people, in the same way that you make a zine and you expect to make 100 copies, and 250 was like an amazing success. And sometimes you make a zine and you do like 10 copies and you feel like that's a success. And I think that I would love more people to make games in the same manner, to make games where it's like, hey, I made a game and I don't need thousands of people to play it. I don't need hundreds of people to play it. Maybe it's a game that I just want to give to my friends as a declaration of love. Not like romantic love or anything like that, just, the love for a friend. That's, hey, you're such a good friend. Maybe it's literally a roll and move game and all sorts of things. And yeah, it's... And I think that, anyway, I've gotten off a little bit off on a tangent. You know what? This can be probably today's topic. But let me actually catch up before I return to this thing. Let me catch up properly with the chat. So River Dusty says, I'm so into this, coming up with ideas. I even read a book on lateral thinking. Cool. Which book was it? Let me know. Was it any good? I have read 2 books. Firstly, A Whack on the Side of the Head. Secondly, A Kick in the Seat of the Pants. The latter I'm going to reread once more, and then I'm going to send to Rob. Both of those books by Roger Von Uck. Very good books. I would recommend both of them. A Whack on the Side of the Head and A Kick on the Seat of the Pants. A Whack on the Side of the Head is more of a read it from the front to the back in like a short day. You will enjoy it. Kick in the Seat of the Pants is more like a collection of essays and kind of dip in, dip out, and that sort of thing. I wasn't at all sure what you meant by copywriting fees, Odolane. Sorry. And Alex says, some designers start with theme, some with mechanics, but the designers I admire the most start with puns. Like, if you're thinking of a name, then what kind of name are you thinking of? Because, the fact that later on, Alex mentioned unpronounceable, like the ELL, that fact that every single game has to end in ELL. And I've kind of gotten more specific. I've started saying, okay, it also has to be mispronounced, and also it has to be one word. I don't want multi-word things. But then I've got a new rule for games that require additional components, like Truck and Trucking Hell. So Trucking Hell, made by David Brain, is a pun. There is like rude words, but then if you think about it, it is all about the trucking hell, like the trucks that are going and delivering things and are picking up things, but it's kind of this badly managed hellscape with the trucks in it. But yeah, that's by David Brain, who, and of course, going with a lots of tin games, like you've got Tinder Blocks, which started off with a pun, and then I believe that Kitten started off with a pun, and I believe Rob, the other Rob, yeah, the other Rob still, who made Tinder Blocks, unless you were thinking of that Rob, in which case it was the first Rob that you're thinking of. But yeah, that Rob has a lots of, and on their show, I greatly recommend this podcast, 10-Minute Design Chat, 10-Minute Design Podcast. I can't remember. Look up 10-Minute Design something on wherever you find podcasts. And they had one about tin games, and of course they were like talking about, oh, what would tin pin bowling be like? And then they came up with an idea, and I was like, oh, you know what? That's actually an interesting thing, having that deep 20, but that just sparks off so many ideas that you would not have had if you hadn't started off with a constraint. Starting with the arbitrary constraints of, I'm going to give a pun, and then so forth. And yes, exactly like Lovely Suit Drawing. Then we talked about Unpronounceable, which Joanne likes, so there you go, you've got a fan already. A game all about making nonsense words. I look forward to that. And I don't think that's actually true of any games, unless you consider the amount of unwritten rules. Because I think by the nature of having to write the rules, I think that you are actually going to, by definition, simplify it, because it's now a closed system compared to the real world where you've got this open system and all the chaos coming in from outside. Anyway, Joanne says, I'm famous for mishearing people because I think very literally, talking about Kiss This Guy compared to Kiss the Sky by Jimi Hendrix. Apparently Elaine and I assume Ifka still calls part-baked bread heart-baked bread. That's such a lovely thing. And Joanne says, one time a friend was saying he wanted to learn bird calls. I thought he wanted to learn to make the sounds, but he wanted to learn to identify them. Lateral Thinking by De Bono. I am going to Lateral Thinking De Bono. I have put that into my... Is it The Use of Lateral Thinking by Edward De Bono? Is that... Yes. Is it... This is a stock image, so I think I can show this image. Open image in new tab. There we go. Is it... Let me show you an image, and I will ask if it is this book or a different book. Is it this one? Is it that one? But yeah, let me know if that's the correct one. Anyway, so yeah, talking about getting ideas for games. So yeah, some people talking, not that one. The one I got is Yellow Ant has thinking upside down. Okay, I will look it up after this show. Thank you very much. And thank you for introducing me to that author. Let's, talk a wee bit more answering this question, which was, of course, I want to know how board game creators come up with any ideas. The more original, the better. So, yeah, firstly, willingness to do things. Secondly, hoops to jump through. Think of some hoops, jump through them. That's basically it. Start off with something. Do you want to make a game? Well, that could be anything. Maybe you just end up making a roll and move game. Do I want to make a game that will be playable on like a sheet of grid paper, but doesn't actually require anything? else to be printed. So it's not like a typical Frippend rights or Roland rights where, and so yeah, I think that's it. Just the more constraints you have, as you get more and more. Sorry, this sounds a bit arrogant, but yeah, as you get more and more skilled at a particular subject, like at this point, I'm definitely more skilled at making games than someone who's just coming to it for the first time. And I believe I can't compare myself to someone who's done it for a year because maybe they're really quick at picking things up. Maybe they're even better than me. But of course, all these things are multidimensional. But I'm certainly better than I was. I can't. The last year's been a bit weird, but so I'm definitely better than I was 4 years ago. And I believe that, yeah, compared to how it was in actually 2016 was when I started Kitty Cataclysm. And have I actually improved that much since then? That's the question. Um, I think I've gotten slightly better at understanding, but honestly, like I feel like I improved a lot between 2013 and 2016, learning about the value of simplicity. That was like a big lesson for me. And since 20, yeah, maybe like I've improved for sure, but not by as much. I think it's always going to be the way, arguably. You get, um, yeah, and so it's kind of, would I have been able to make Seize the Power like in 2016? Maybe not. I don't know. Would I have been able to think of? I think sometimes restrictions can jolt you out of just doing the simplest thing or the most boring thing. I think that sometimes restrictions, if you're actually willing to pursue that line of thinking, and you have to be willing to actually throw and discard stuff away. But yeah, hopefully that yeah, answered this question. I am going to finish that. And Alex sometimes worries about their position in the Dunning-Kruger spectrum. For those who don't know, that's the theory all about when you learn more, you realize that you don't know that much, but when you're early on, you think that you know a lot. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron is another recommendation. I am going to admit that I have this. Oh, there's a PDF available somewhere. Julia Cameron. And I will check that out later as well. But I think I'm probably going to put this as a bookmark to, yeah, I need to prioritize reading my own books and getting rid of them. But Joanne says there are some basic points in that book. Writing a bit each day is a good one. The other is having a date with yourself to find something you enjoy. Yeah, that makes sense. Like when you're, that's all about, I guess, getting stuff actually done and moving from that original inspiration to the later stages. Like once you've got an idea, continuing to develop it. Like I was honestly like on my solo Sunday this week, I am going to be doing some game design on Sunday, 2 days' time. I'm going to be sitting at the table and I'm thinking, okay, what shall I do? Shall I do the ghosty game where I had a vague idea back when I was in Glasgow and it was all about ghosts learning how to be ghosts? Maybe I'll draw some cards. Maybe you'll watch me drawing some cards, but I won't be doing anything too exciting. And Alex has another questionably quick question. How's my book going? I haven't written anything beyond what I wrote on Board Game Geek. I've not written anything since I came to London. Is the truth. I've been a bit distracted recently, but I've been thinking about it, and if I certainly write, yeah, it hasn't progressed much, but yeah, right now my main priorities are categorical, which I'm going to really get stuck into during my 3-week break, and then getting something done to ideally sell during the UK Games Expo. Those are my personal ambitions. My personal ambition is to have categorical all the art done, sort out how I'm going to print it, and then sort out wee whimsical creatures for UK Games Expo, because that feels like a very quick project. Audilani asks, have I ever met anyone who arrived quickly onto good products with their first prototype ever? I have not met such a person. And now we've got into our brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? Brilliant thing! Brilliant thing today is going to be warmth. I am very much enjoying the warmth. In fact, I am going to take off this scarf. I was wearing the scarf because I was worried that my outfit is not quite red enough. It is quite a dark red. It's more of a burgundy. So yeah, I'm wearing, I really like this kind of mesh sleeves with this kind of big sleeves, and I like the hem and everything. It feels like a really nice outfit, but this, having said that, this is the kind of red that I like, and in reality, it's a lot more red, whereas when I look at on the screen, it looks almost orange, because, yeah, for whatever reason, just the sun has made everything look a lot more yellow. So, feel free to comment, ask questions from like, follow, talk about warmth. We are going to talk about good memories for about 10 minutes or so, and then I will finish up. But again, once more, if anyone wants to join me or share anything else at all, then feel free to, because it is a friendly Friday forum where priority number 1 is chatting about you, priority number 2 is chatting about good memories. Do I have a good memory? That is a very on-topic question. I mean, I've got good memories. I've got good memories of yesterday. I have good memories of walking around the park, of seeing the squirrels. I've got a memory of being in a car, not wanting to meet my mum's friend, who was called Anne, and wanting to not come out of the car until I saw this cat, and then I kind of, ooh, what's this? And then I followed the cat, and then true story, like, the cat kind of got me out of the car and interacting with my mum's friend. The car, for the record, where I was on my own, was kind of parked off any real streets. It was kind of like in a private parking next to, just for this one house, kind of like a parking lot. And so, Odilani, do you have a link? Because feel free to share a link. Odilani wants to share that this Sunday on Break My Game, is that on their Discord? Is a game design for composers workshop. That sounds fantastic, and that sounds like something that I imagine Alex really being into. I can't remember what's the rule on sharing links on YouTube. Try sharing the link on YouTube. But that does sound fantastic. Feel free to let us know all about it. And of course, so, good memories. I think the nature of memories is that as time goes on, the memories become more and more vague. And I think there's a nature of, what do you focus on? What do you, what, yeah, like, what do you sort of, what do you remember? What facts do you remember? When I walk around, do I remember what shoes I was wearing? Or, I mean, right now I can think, okay, I was actually wearing my trainers that I bought in Glasgow. And it's like, what moments are meaningful to you? What moments make that impression upon your mind? What moments just drift off? Like, some of the things that I bought are really, okay, I bought those trainers, I went to the shop, I like tried on a whole bunch of things, I made an occasion out of it. Whereas I've got some other shoes that if someone asked me, hey, where did you buy that? I'd be like, online, but I can't remember where. And yeah, does the internet mean that we're more likely to go through surface things and even buy things and buy things in that manner and have all these fleeting connections? Because for sure there is value in fleeting connections. I'm not saying that every connection has to be a big thing. Oh my gosh, it's just so lovely and warm. I think I actually have to start putting on sun cream this year. But and oh, I heard about memories. Every time you remember something like an event, you rewrite it slightly. That's quite possible. And I've heard about like the ability to falsify um hit memories. If you actually make, there have been studies where people have done like Photoshop edits of someone and they made it look like a real photograph and asked, hey, do you remember this? And then people have started talking about how they remember, all these things about being in this hot air balloon and it, but trying to make sense of this photograph. And the interesting thing being that you can create false memories so easily. Mark Rosewater did a thing about memories. Mark Rosewater, I can't remember what the article was called, but basically it was so Mark Rosewater did a rewrite of an article that never existed. Feel yeah. And Mark Rosewater even like they falsified the archives of the making magic articles. So the link was to like something like 117, and then if you went to 118 would still be there, but then the next article would be like 118b because they had to like shift everything up to include this thing that's never actually existed. And so Mark Rosewater basically talks about memories, but then it was the following week that Mark said, oh, okay, the big reveal is that was actually not an article, and so many people talks about how they remember me, how they remembered reading it, and people are very trusting of things. That's the insane thing. Like, I can try and recall what was going through my mind yesterday, but is it true? I have no way of knowing. Mandela Effect. I am unfamiliar with that. Mandela Effect. Oh, the shared false memory. Oh, no, it wasn't. But this was slightly different because this false memory was actually implanted by someone saying, hey, this is something that's happened, even though it never happened. So I think the Mandela Effect is where it looks in psychology. I think it's a false memory, but not a. Wait, Mandela Effect redirects to false memory? No. In 2010, manifestations and types. Mandela Effect, there we go. So we've got a link that I will share all the places. But yeah, and I think I am able to share this because it says Wikipedia. But yep, basically it's when it's shared by multiple people. Her false memory. Okay, I don't know whether it says that or not. But anyway, the point is that, yeah, memories are really easy to fabricate. That is the point. And Elaine says, sometimes I'm not sure if I have a memory of something or if I'm remembering where someone's told me about it or seen a picture of it. And that's the scary thing. like as we sort of carry on through our life, do we start to think, oh, that was a good time, when in actuality it was a bad time? Like, we have so many times when maybe I was a wee bit tired, I was a wee bit grumpy, but just by nature of it being a memory at all, it's a shared connection. I mean, I have memories of times with a friend where there was a lot of miscommunication, there was a lot of disagreement. But now, when I'm thinking back on it, I don't feel any of that negative emotion because we're at a different place in our life. But actually, I think of them with, you know, a positive thing of, oh, yeah, that was a shared moment when this was this happening. And yeah, but when I think back to it, I kind of have to remind myself that actually there was a little bit of arguably manipulation, or kind of this was done in this. We have to remind ourselves of things going on. And I think it is important to write notes to ourselves. I mean, what's that film about? Memoir, mem. You know, the game where the person takes photos and then the film kind of goes backwards through time. You know that film, the one I mean. Someone might know it. Um, but yeah, I think that even if we don't have the same sorts of extreme lack of ability to build long Memento, that's the one. Thank you. That's a brilliant film. And even if we don't ourselves have the same inability to develop, you know, medium term memories, maybe it's still worth kind of writing notes to our future self and thinking, oh yeah, that is actually how I was feeling. And having that thing that we have, something that we can trust as our past self. Because I think there is something to be said that um when and hello keys, it is lovely to see you, just talking about good memories and the ability to falsify them. Like, when you have something that you can trust, I think it's important to safeguard ourselves against similar situations, learn from our past endeavors, remember those bad memories, not as, oh, that was a terrible thing, but more as a, hey, that's something that maybe I could have avoided, or something that I would like to have a red flag about and avoid in future. Um, so let me. Alex feels they have memories of being told stories of their youth, built up from imagining the story. Hmm. Joanne is sharing some memories of how her husband used to share train books with um, her kids when their kids were small. When the children were little, they could say the names of the locomotives. But how many 2-year-olds can say Hiawatha? But they could, because that was the name of the train. And I mean, again, I guess there's always the question of, was that definitely true? Like, that's the thing. We can't be 100% certain of anything. I. There are certain points where, to all intents and purposes, I have to be okay. If I'm not saying that I'm not 100% certain that I am touching my own hand right now, then, you know, that's kind of, yeah, sure, getting into the metaphysical components, and we can say, yes, are we a butterfly dreaming we're a human, or a human that was dreaming they're a butterfly, or am I in some sort of matrix or whatever? But yeah, everything has some varying degrees of, yeah, uncertainty. And once again, hello Keys, and Keys says, They say UK has the worst weather, you have a sunny day, and Bucharest is raining cats. I honestly think that UK has very unpredictable weather. UK, if you come here, you are likely to see rain. You are, honestly, I think it's one of the milder climates compared to a lot of places. But anyway, oh, Final Cut. I do not know that film. Final Cut. Also, and of course on Google, it goes straight to Final Cut Pro. That's not what I wanted. Final Cut, 2004 film. Wikipedia says, Omar Naim takes place in a setting where memory implants make it possible to record entire lives. Okay, so professionals specializing in editing the memories of unsavory people into uncritical memorials played at funerals. That sounds really cool. I would totally be like to watch that. Oh, and it's got Robin Williams. Anyway, so yeah, that was Final Cut, and your memories are recorded through the lens of your own psyche. So the way one person remembers something will differ from the way someone else remembers it. That's 100% true. And during the time, we remember those emotions, we remember the things, and trying to remember the exact order of in what order this was said, and that was said, and that was said. You know, as we become more emotional, we become less reliable. And yeah, who was it? Monstrosity, Eric Slauson. Eric Slauson made the game Monstrosity actually about witnesses, like police witnesses and IDing people. And I think that yeah, I think that the whole game is about one person looking at a picture of a monster, then you have to put it down, describe it to everyone else, and Eric Slauson was talking about how very interestingly people often describe things that weren't really there or they can't quite remember things. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting one to ponder about the unreliability and how even like groups can have false memories. But Odilani mentions Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's his interesting movie. True story. I had heard how weird and avant-garde this movie is, and that was the first movie where I tried putting in the DVD into my computer and then linking my computer to a big TV. What I did not know was that the TV was only showing a quarter of the screen, approximately. Now, so this was even more avant-garde than it was meant to be. So I watched the entirety, basically, of Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, not realizing that I was only watching a quarter of the screen on a really big television because, I don't know, something had gone wrong with the sharing the screen bit. And then afterwards, I was expecting it to sort of come in, and it was very interesting what they did with like very rarely showing people's faces, and it was like kind of like more like you were a bystander, so you weren't actually trying to look directly at the person's face. I thought that was what they were going for, like a kind of, oh, you're not adding to the confusion, so you don't see the people on. But yeah, it wasn't that at all. Anyway, yeah, and glad you enjoyed it. And in Nottingham, it is terrible. Yeah, London does have its own microclimate, and I am pulling down my long, flowy sleeves too. As someone with face blindness, I fear even ever having to identify someone in a lineup. I'd be terrible. It was here advertised as a romantic comedy, and when I was watching, half the room went out of the cinema. Wow. That's. Wow. I watched the Blair Witch Project with my brother, with my sibling, and true story, that's the only film I've gotten out of the cinema for. Because, I don't know, it just felt boring. I know they were trying to do this lo-fi makes it seem more real, but it didn't seem more real to us. It just seemed more dull. And I don't know, maybe that lo-fi nature would ironically work really well on a small screen, um, back in the day. But I feel like, yeah, watching it on a big screen, it's not real. Having shaky cam doesn't make it more real suddenly. Blair Witch Project, anyway. So, we were talking about good memories. We were talking about the fallibility of stuff. If anyone else has anything. Oh, and Odolani, you are going to share a link because we've heard that something's happening on Sunday, but we don't know how to get there. So please feel free to, share a link to this thing because apparently we're invited, but how do we get there? Alex said, I think I saw an episode of QI where they did a live lineup a few minutes after the mugging and they still got it wrong. Wow. Oh, YouTube cut it out. That's not great. Can you maybe... Actually, you know what? That is good. Because generally, I would prefer that people don't put links into my thing. So I tell you what, Odolani, message it to me on Twitter. And if you message it on to me on Twitter in the next couple of minutes, then I will copy-paste it to everyone. And we will check it out ourselves. Tell us all the details. Share a wee bit and on Twitter, private message me, and I will share all that stuff. But yeah, good to know. Same as Twitch, I've got it set that you cannot share links unless you are a VIP or a moderator. So yeah, good memories. When I think of my first ever memory, it's of a ZX Spectrum loading screen. It kind of went... And that's kind of maybe a less excruciating than the real thing. And then you listen to this for about 5 minutes, lights flicker the screen, and then eventually a splash screen is drawn, and then the game is ready, and then you press enter, and then you can start playing. You've got to go through the tape, and it's almost like an old modem. It's almost identical noises to an old modem. That digital code being sent as essentially audio waves. It was an interesting one. Wow, those old times. Now broadband is just taken for granted. But do I have any Native American relatives? No, I do not. I was born in Glasgow, and all my heritage, as far as I'm aware, is based in Iran. So I'm willing to say that one of my parents is from Kermon, which is... There's a lot of... where it's very sunny, and that parents was actually working on a farm, like Luke Skywalker, but less futuristic and slightly less deserty. And I've been to Kermon a few times. I've been to Yazd and Isfahan. I've been to the caves. There are some amazing places, but they're not really taken care of. And it's also known well for pistachio nuts. Then Tehran, which is best known for being the capital, is my other thing. And Break My Game Discord. And let's see. So I have been sent this wee link. And then we will talk about the ZX Spectrum because clearly that struck a nerve. Um, let's see what's going on here. I am going to take this as permission to share the screen. So if you want to go to the thing, go there, or if you want to go to the music games thing, so go to the Discord server of Break My Game, and it starts at 4 p.m. UTC, which means it's 5 p.m. UK time. Huh. And what day is that on? 05:30. So, yep, Sunday. Huh. You know what? Its main focus is how board game design methods might be applied to participatory open scores. And I am going to keep all of that off. I will not accept all, and save and exit. Boom. There we go. Is there any sort of what's the word I'm looking for, like schedule or starting questions or anything? I mean, I vaguely understand this, but I honestly, this feels like a very academic thing, and I'm like, whoa, I don't fully understand. Please bring a chromatic instrument and we'll play some. Let's have a great discussion about the intriguing intersection between board games and contemporary music. That does sound really interesting. You know what, I might go there. I am literally going to put it into my personal diary. I am chatting to a mentee 2 hours before that, so yeah, UTC 17 to there we go. So it is in my diary, and I look forward to checking it out. May I please have the StreamYard link? Yes, absolutely, Joanne. You may 100% join. Although I will probably do that. And I'll probably finish up in 10 minutes or so. Keys are asked that cause I'd love to figure out the roots of a person judging by the facial features, hair, and so on. Iran was my second guess after the Native American part. Fair enough. As long as I will say, I don't mind people asking when I've gotten to know them. And hello to Joanne. I see I'm just adding you. Hello, Joanne.
Hello. We're outside together too.
Yay!
Except it's sun's just coming
are
up.
you on your phone?
Yes.
If you turn your phone 90 degrees, then maybe you can sort of,
Other
it might
way.
eventually right itself.
This way. No, that's upside down. Let's see if this will work.
You rotate a wee bit more. Sometimes you have to wiggle it, but sometimes I don't know.
Let me try it this way.
It does look like you've got a truly beautiful sky. You know
I
what?
am going to see if I'll probably have to keep it like this for now.
Don't worry about it. It's not
Can
a
you see
big
the
deal.
roses? Oh.
I'll make us bigger like this.
Can you see the
Oh,
roses?
those are just wonderful. And have you cultivated them from different little sprouts?
No, I bought these.
Okay.
These are my Habitat for Humanity roses. I don't know if you've heard of them.
No, I haven't.
Try to bring you in.
And yeah, you've got Elaine says those roses are beautiful. I would agree. What's his Habitat for Humanity?
It's a charity that helps people that need housing. And I have others. There you go.
Ooh, those are lovely as well. Oh, you know what? I should actually. I'm going to unplug my computer because I am on the laptop, and I'm going to walk around a tiny bit and show you what's on the fence.
Okay, I'm trying to see how I'm gonna. Oh,
So I am this. Wait, can you
there we
see
go. That's a little
this?
better.
This used to be about this. Wait, why is So this used to be about. I think it's been a year.
I lost you. So, guys, can you still see me? Oh, there you are.
So this is almost my height. You can see these
Oh my
flowers. I'm not
gosh.
sure whether I should take off the flowers so maybe it fruits more, or if I need to leave the flowers on.
Uh-huh.
But this is my wild alpine fruit plant.
Wow. It's
And
cool. We're in each other's gardens right now. How about that?
I'll show you this other bush that I've got, which is meant to be a flower bush. This one was about this tall. I bought it at the same time. It hasn't grown up so much, and it hasn't shown any flowers yet. But hopefully it will one day soon. We will see how that evolves. And while I'm walking around, I am going to show you all these tall plants because whilst we have, some grass that has been mowed, I always like to leave a bit of long grass where I can actually see a lot of bees each day buzzing around, which is really nice. And yeah, I'm going to go back to my seat and sit
I've
down.
got on no makeup, guys. You guys are usually used to seeing me a little different. But I'm okay.
Mm, Keith says, "This is the way you should keep your hair. You look amazing."
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, a few people said I was losing Wi-Fi. Sorry about that. And Alex says, "Welcome to Joanne's jubilant June-ish jabber." Hmm. It is June-ish. That is totally
It
true.
is Junish, yes. I'm gonna go around here a bit.
Oh
Mm,
wow, you don't see houses like that in the UK.
no,
Big
no, I guess not.
gardens and
Yeah, no, guess not. Let's see. Trying to see if I can show you more. Here you go. Wait. Uh,
you have
uh,
just a wonderful garden.
oh, thank
So
you.
many flowers.
Yeah.
And Elaine says, "I love it when people have plants for the bees and butterflies." Oh, thank you. And there is one thing I that we've let grow. I'm going to actually show it. I don't know how tall it will get, but so this is in our kitchen, and maybe see my reflection. But this is me right beside it, so it is this much higher than me. There you go. So I'm about 170. This is, I don't know, maybe getting to 2 meters tall. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, check out these giant leaves.
Wow.
And yeah, there's
Was that
just,
like a vegetable plant or something?
I don't know, we didn't plant it. There's just been so many years of people who have been here before. And yeah, I mean, we have. I don't know if these are buttercups or what, but I don't think they're
Oh,
buttercups. They're just
that
another random.
that almost looks like a squash flower,
Huh.
but I don't know.
I mean, this tree that you normally see behind me actually gives pears, but it's not it's definitely not to quince. It's just incredibly hard pears, and you need to cook them if you want to eat them. But they're definitely not quince. They're just a strange, yeah, pear-like fruit, but very green, very even when they drop down from the tree, they're very green. And but if you put them into a stew, then they turn out quite good.
Can you see the rose behind me?
I can, the pale pink one. This is just
It's
lovely.
purple. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, it looks like a pale pink thing on the camera.
Yeah, well, it's probably the camera.
Hmm. Yeah, just and when it's bright sun like that, cameras get confused. Um, and yeah, Elaine's enjoying seeing all the garden. Yeah, part of me does slightly worry, like with that one thing, if we have too
I'm
many
gonna
like
move to another
that,
spot so you can see more.
then maybe I should do similar. Look, we've got these let's on the trimmed grass. Don't know if you can see this bit. Like these tiny little blue flowers. Can you see them?
Yeah, I can.
And then
Can you see this behind me?
yes. Oh gosh, that is just a beautiful thing. And he's and I have enjoyed the garden tours very much, says Elaine. Are they forget me nots? This is where I admit that I don't really know the names of flowers and stuff, but they might be. They might be absolutely. All I know is that we definitely have some dandelions. I'll show you the B bit so you can see this is the bit that was trimmed, and then this is the bit that was not trimmed. So like this part's kind of sticky. I don't know what that is. Dandelion. Some of the, I will admit, I do sometimes pull up things. If there's a lot of things that are all identical, I pull up some of them, or if there's things that are spiky, then sometimes I pull them up. But I like to just have lots of different plants going on in the verge. Oh, and one last. No, you can't see them, but I did plant some. Yeah, well, I don't feel like we have so many flowers here. Certainly not like your wonderful rose garden.
Thank you. But I like your garden too.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, can you? Oh, cat. I think.
Ah, I'm trying to remember his name.
No, this isn't Curtis. I think this one's the wee chubbier one.
Oh no.
Curtis doesn't have a collar. Let me see. Hello. I wonder if. Let's see. If they will be who wants to guess if the cat will be attracted by the rattly feather bell? It's literally bells on a feather. Who thinks this will work?
No.
Oh, there we go. Don't know if you can see it. Like it certainly seems to attract some attention.
Oh, Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's not super excited.
What's that cat's name?
I do not know. This is just another neighbourhood cat who I have not properly met. I wonder if there's a name on the collar. Oh, there's Curtis. Curtis just joined me. There's Curtis. So here, can you see Curtis? Yes, you can.
Hi,
This
Curtis.
Oh.
I'm trying to show you more flowers. Here you go.
Oh, Curtis is not wanting to play today for whatever reason.
Hi, Chris.
You know what?
Can you see the red one, Bez?
Yes, I can. That is just the best colour.
I know, you like red.
And Elaine suggests that the sticky weed stuff gets everywhere. So maybe I should, get rid of it. No, Joanne, whilst it's been lovely having you on, I think I am going to start wrapping up. Oh,
sure.
Hello,
my battery's going to run out anyway. Are you going to start wrapping up? I'm going to head back inside.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining in and showing everyone a wee bit of your garden. Feel free to stay on or
here,
just
I'll join
close
you back.
the thing as you prefer.
I'm going to close it, but then I'm going to run back in the house.
I can remove you so people can... Oh, never mind. So, now just a quick update. Curtis and the other cats are gazing at each other. And, yeah, Curtis is pondering what's going on. But I am probably going to head off in a wee bit. We've talked about a lot today. We talked about the nature of finding ideas. We talked about lateral thinking books. We talked about Odolani's thing, which I'm going to do another quick link to that on Twitch. And we talked about Alex's game, Unpronounceable, which might be interesting. We talked about my heritage, some of my early memories, and cats and spectrum loading screens. Back in the day, as Elaine said, it is very brightly coloured because you had only 8 colours. True story. Red, green, blue, because of the 3 types of ray guns that were being fired at the TV screen. And then, of course, yellow, magenta, and cyan, if you had 2 of them firing at one time. And 3 at once is white, none at once is black, so only 8 colours. Elaine, absolutely, you may ask a question. Do I keep a record of everything? What do you mean? Like, I mean, it does stay on video. Like, it does stay... If you're asking me that's the question, you are giving me more credit for organization than I deserved. I vaguely remember that people do ask about where ideas come from again and again. And I'm ready to talk about it. It's all in the stuff by Bez Annual 2020 to 2021. Oh, maybe there... No, that seems like too much work. Hello, Joanne. And, but, wow. I am definitely thinking about it. And thank you, Joanne, for sharing everything with us. I very much appreciated it. It was lovely to have you. I wish I had my phone with me to take a picture. These cats, hopefully they won't move. Let me make sure that the screen stays bright enough so that I can see. Um, don't move. So there's the cat that I don't know the name of, and there's Curtis looking behind me. So there's the cat's cam. There we go. That is my shaky cam. Um, do I write down? Do I write down the recaps? No, I don't. I I have made notes. Like when I've been making notes, you can generally tell because my recaps are a bit easier to do. Yes, thank you very much, Joanne. And yeah, lots of love to everyone. It has been a wonderful day, and thank you everyone for being here. It's been a lovely thing, honestly. Without this stream, I would probably just be. Yeah, there are some days like today, I might just be staying in bed and not wanting to come out. But instead, I got out of the house. I went for a walk before my stream and got to see some lovely cats. And there's Curtis, who I'm going to be taking care of this weekend, who officially lives next door. And there's the other fatter cat behind, who I have no idea where they live. But yeah, lots of love to you all. Um, and for now, this is basically the end. Um, if you want to check me out, I am basically Stuff by Bez everywhere. Go to. Yeah, I will actually do one more exclamation mark links in the thing. Please check out the LDEC Twitter and please check out the LDEC contests. I want to say thank you, everyone. You have all been wonderful. Special thanks to Joanne. And even though moderation was not required today, thank you, Alex, and yeah, other moderators for being ready to step in if needed. And finally, it's over to you. What are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. What are you up to after this stream? What are you up to today or this morning or whatever? I am personally going to have some sort of breakfast. Maybe I have a box of raspberries which I bought quite reduced, which I need to eat, otherwise it would go bad. I might have an entire punnet of raspberries mixed in with some muesli. That's going to be my breakfast. I'm probably like I did reach out to a really I never know when to chase people up. Like if there's someone that I really wanted to have on my episode 400, which is in just under 2 weeks, and they've not replied yet, after a couple of days, do I reach back to them or not? I might do that. Oh, I'm going to have a chat with Jason, which will be lovely, in about an hour and a half. And I will be playing Battle Sheep with Benita Kuar in about 4.5 hours. And the playing Battle Sheep will be a public thing on Twitch. The rest of it will be just me. And oh yes, if you're based in London, also at 7 p.m. tonight, there is tabletop industry networking talks. It is a London-based thing, but because it's London, because it's online, you can totally get in there. If anyone wants to know about that, let me know. That's at 7 p.m. And there's actually, let me 10 tabletop London tabletop industry networking. That is the thing. And if you're on Facebook, I will share with you the Facebook group where you can maybe find out more about it. There we go. Some people enjoy the I thought that's anyway, like for those who don't know, Only Connect I think it's a UK-based show where it's basically a TV show-based version of those puzzles that Alex makes. Although I assume which came first, like those puzzles. Alex, feel free to link to one of them. And so Alex docking themselves 50 points for a terrible pun. Oh, it wasn't that bad. You don't need to dock yourself points. Anyway, if you want to find out all about my streams, then feel free to look up my streams there. Share, spread the word. Today I'm playing at 4 p.m. UK time. I'm playing Battleship with Benita. Tomorrow I am discussing publisher media relationships with Jessica Medringham, Janice Turner, and Nikita Sullivan, and so we'll talk about that. I'm really looking forward to that chat. Then in the afternoon, 4 p.m., I'm going to be playing Potion Explosion on Board Game Arena with Panic, which we'll have a chat maybe about the game. Solo Sunday, I am going to actually change the name of that. It's not yet necessarily playtesting a flip and write game. I might actually let me leave it up to you. What would you like to see me do? What do you think I should do? I'm slightly more excited about the Ghost game because also we are starting to get to a situation where we could play games in real life again. That is quite exciting. Yeah, as time goes on, obviously there is less than 2 weeks more of streaming before I basically stop, and I will continue streaming at least once a week, as long as people join in my Tuesday evenings. But yeah, as I said, check that, and yeah, for now, canongames.wordpress/puzzles. Oh, I'm not sure if I've seen this particular thing, but Alex is like a really good person at doing puzzles. Oh, there we go. Okay, so puzzle. Okay, cool. That is. I will maybe be trying the easy ones one day. Yep, I'm looking at that. Anyway, it's a holiday from streaming, and yes, for sure. I'm not saying I'm going to stop streaming forever, but I'm at least for 3 weeks. I'm going to not do any morning streams, and yeah, during those 3 weeks, I will ponder what I want them to be. Like I think I will probably come back and do some sort of daily thing, but like on Fridays, it might be literally a 10-minute thing, which I will feel quite weird about. And I have really enjoyed these outside discussions, and yeah, I was thinking, once I come back, what I want to do with the streams in the future. I want to maybe do some solo playing of real games, maybe some solo playing of computer games, just kind of setting aside time for myself to do that, doing some just chatting like I'm doing today, where everyone else is able to come and I'm outside somewhere. That's definitely something I'd like to do. I'd like to do more interviews with people. I'd like to do more panels with people. On Fridays, it will be literally a 10-minute thing. And I guess I have to pick one thing for the 7th day, and then boom, that's 7 days. But no, I have enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. But yeah. Anyway, episode 400 is going to be an epic thing, inspired by Amadeus, inspired by how much I enjoyed episode 300. It's going to be a 25-hour show. And I already have one guest confirmed for 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. EDT, who I would not have been able to get normally. I mean, certainly not at this time of day. But yeah, If you want a hint, hmm, no, they have an E. No, that's a terrible. Hmm. They have an L also in their name. Wow, that's a really strong hint. I just realized that's how. Yeah. So if you want to guess, EL. No, it's not Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway has no L and does have an E, but no L. And yeah, you can probably, but yeah, that's is the thing. You can probably guess who's coming on at 10 p.m. But I'm waiting to try and put together the rest of the guests. And Alex, I'm hoping that you're still up for um, joining. But for now, I have to finish. Um, Keys. That is a terrible pun, but no docking points, Alex. You only do that to yourself. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It has been lovely. You know what? Ah, yeah. And the other question is, how much notice should I give everyone? When do I start saying, I've got this person and they're coming on this show and it's the most amazing guest? And yeah, I need to find a picture of them that I'm actually allowed to use. I am actually going to check my email right now whilst I am on stream. Gmail. Do I have any exciting emails? Oh, um, ooh, uh, ah, I can confirm right now from the operations manager of Knizia Games that Rainer Knizia is not going to be in the office during my stream, so they have to decline my invitation. That was a pleasant email. So there you go. I have gotten an email back confirming that Rainer Knizia cannot come. That was actually more than I was expecting right now. So Rainer Knizia can definitely not come. And yeah, I'm actually just going to read through my emails. I sent an email chasing up a job application that I sent about 28 days ago, and I chased them up on Monday saying, hey, it's been like 4 weeks. I didn't say that. I said, hey, I was just wondering about the status of the job search. I applied on the Friday afternoon, but I haven't heard back yet. I hope your consideration process is going smoothly. Thanks so much for reaching out and following up. We've received a lot of interest. Unfortunately, your application did not make it to the next phase of the interview process. We appreciate your time and wish you the best in your future endeavours. That is a shame. I was hoping that. Also, I feel slightly sad that also I've got an email that I am meeting my mentee on Sunday. There we go. And so that was also, I feel like I get annoyed by people not messaging you back to say you haven't gotten through the process. But I understand, like, if there was so much people, then maybe it took them 4 weeks to go through all those applications. I don't know. But maybe they only just decided that my application was not good enough in the past couple of days. But thank you. Obviously, but yeah, this is me. I am terrible at saying goodbye. I am. Yeah, this is the longest goodbye ever. But lots of love. Put the 10th of June in your calendar. Please do come at some point. And yes, you know what? Actually, yeah, it would be lovely. Everyone who is watching right now, everyone who has been commenting, you know, Elaine and Alex and Joanne and Keys and yeah, like Odolani, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I will be having times when it's okay, these people, and times when I'm talking to, my very, very special guests, like I want it to be just me and them mainly talking. But there will also be times when it's going to be okay. Anyone who wants to come onto camera can come onto camera, because I do want at least some moments like that. I want it to be okay. During this time, it's open invites, chaotic shenanigans, anything goes, and I do want to go through the entire list of all the things that I wrote down. Although I reserve the right to do 50% of them, maybe. And your goodbye is the best, says Keys. The only one that was better was in it. 10th of June, episode 400 of Bezzy. We're allowed to talk to each other in chats. Yeah, of course. You're allowed to talk to each other. I mean, that's the whole thing. And like, if I'm talking to, if I was talking to someone who I have never spoken to in person before, and yes, I must have massive respect of all their games, and I'm like, wow, I'm still, wow, they agreed to come onto the show, then, of course, everyone else can join in and ask questions. But if you mention, hey, my roses are doing well, like right now, I would be like, hey, great for you, and I would acknowledge that. But should we? Absolutely, if you want to. I mean, I love being like in the center and, back and forth chat, especially if it's on Twitch. I think there will be lots of people, fingers crossed. That's the thing. Like, there will be someone else. That's what I'm saying. Like, there will be someone else. And it will be me and a special guest. I'm going to make a special thing. And actually, I so badly want to share, because I've got like kind of I've kind of got 3 special guests, but now I'm starting to reach out to more people, and I want to do it without disrespecting anyone. Actually, I'm just I'm going to make some announcements on Sunday. How about that? Come to my stream on Sunday and I will talk about who there is. And I am still, yes. Yep. Anyway. Yeah. I have to stop. I have to stop. Otherwise, we're good. There will be a goodbye. There will be a goodbye in the next few minutes. I just hate and hello designer cardboard. Yes, episode 400. It will be 25 hours of inspired by Amadeus music. I am going to do the whole everyone gets to draw as part of a thing. Inspired by my own episode 300. I'm going to have like party time, up to 3 people every half hour, just chatting. And 25 hours. It's going to be from 10 a.m. UK time until 11 a.m. UK time. What's 11 the next day? At least that's what I've scheduled. And if I'm tired, I will stop immediately and go to bed. But if I'm not tired, if I'm just energized, and I am going to schedule in some time for self-care. I'm going to schedule in time for eating. There will be a little cooking stream where I've got you on my mobile phone. I'm going to have you on my mobile phone while I cook something simple. I'm going to have some simple food. I might even get to takeaway. Although I was thinking I would like to do a bit of exercise, and I was thinking to myself, should I show you while I walk around? But then the problem with me putting you on camera while I walk around is I don't want to dox myself, so I have to be slightly careful with that. I could turn off the video camera for maybe 5 minutes until I get far enough away, or I could do some hula hooping if it is sunny enough. And anyway, Joanne, you could go on video. Like, there will be, as I say, times when it's like previous special guests, times when it's like new special guests, and like there will be like just one-on-one. But like, again, yes, Odolani, everyone can chat. everyone can, like, I just might ignore some of it. When I say ignore, I will be pleased by it. I might comment occasionally, but you know, I love it when people are chatting. And yeah, am I doing mukbang? Yes, one. Thank you very much, Elaine. Am I doing mukbang? Yes, I am. 100%. I will be talking all about what I'm eating. I'll be going to Aldi and getting all the cheeses. I am tempted to ask Molly if Molly can join me during the cheese eating, because Molly is well known for eating a lot of cheese. And like, if anyone else wants to join me during lunchtime or any other time, then yeah, there will be like a. I have already made a doodle, and also the person. Oh, I don't want to say anymore. I'm just so excited. But anyway, that is just under 2 weeks away. But yes, for sure, lots of love. Um, I just want to say once more, if you want to say anything, then please say it. But thank you, everyone. Um, wow, that is very impressive. I, I mean, Molly eats lots of cheese. I am. I don't know how much cheese per day or whatever that is. How much? Yeah, how much cheese per day? But yeah, yeah, and yeah, I'm going to start singing. Bye, 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 bye. I love you lots and lots. I don't want to say goodbye, but I guess that I have got to. Bye, 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 bye. Now this is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now I'm going to go. Bye, 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 bye. We are going to raid. Bye, 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 bye. Where new connections are made. Bye, 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 bye. I'm checking all of the folk. Bye, 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 bye. We might have a bit of a joke. Bye, 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 bye. Oh, Zano Wano! Oh my gosh, Zano Wano's. Oh my gosh, yes, we're definitely reading Zano Wano. Oh my gosh, Zano Wano has not been live when I finished for so long. Zano Wano is an Australian violinist. I'm just super excited about this. Zano Wano. Okay. Bye, 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 bye. This is goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, bye, everyone. Bye, bye, Joanne. Bye, bye, Keys. Bye, bye, Odilani. Bye, bye, Elaine. 1 kilogram per week. Is that per week? That is quite a bit. Maybe Molly eats more than that. But yeah, bye-bye, bye-bye. Per day? You ate that much per day? Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh, wow. And bye-bye, designer cardboard. Bye-bye, everyone. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day and see you relatively soon.